Oh my goodness. Publishing a #1 bestseller, it didn't just shift my career, it shifted me. Women tell me over and over, Jen, this is exactly what I needed. No one has ever given me permission to feel my feelings like you do. And the secret is, I was just giving that permission to myself too. Writing this book allowed me to drop the performance, be honest about my own wounds, and claim space for the real me. And now the book has become a mirror for every woman everywhere, reflecting back the truth that they are allowed to take up space too. That is what Lucky Book Publishing has changed in me the most. I would say that the #1 piece of advice that stayed with me all of this time came straight from Sam. We were in a meeting one day, and she looked right at me and she said, Jen, the world needs to hear your passion. And it stopped me in my tracks. Because until then, I had been trying to package myself neatly in this tiny little polished box to get it right. But that reminder cracked something open in me. My passion is the whole point of all of this. It's the spark behind my book, my brand, my business. And once I let it come through unapologetically and authentically, everything shifted. The message felt bigger. My brand, it felt bolder, and I finally felt like me. So before writing my book, I would say that the biggest fear around all of this is the fact that I just never thought I could write a book. See, I was the kid who barely scraped through high school. Dyslexia, ADHD held me back from being able to really be who I wanted to be. The written word always felt like a wall I was never going to climb. I eventually barely passed high school, dropped out of college, and I was convinced that I was not cut out for academics or anything that required me to sit down and wrestle with words on a page. But then years later, something in me refused to keep carrying that story. I went back to school, this time with the right support and real help for my mental health. And I didn't just finish, I graduated as valedictorian. And that moment changed something inside of me. Standing there, looking out at my classmates, I thought, you know what, if I can do this, then I can write that damn book. And now, I'm not saying it was easy or anything like that. I knew it would take everything in me, every ounce of grit, every bit of resilience I had ever had. But publishing with Lucky Book Publishing gave me the structure and the support I needed to make it possible. They helped me turn my voice that always felt too messy for the page into something women all over the world are holding in their hands. Writing this book wasn't just about becoming an author. It was about proving to myself that the thing I once believed I couldn't do would become the very thing that changes everything. Since Dance of Attachment has come out, the shift has been undeniable. Clients don't just see me as a coach anymore. They see me as a thought leader, someone who's created a framework that can actually change the way that they love and connect. And colleagues who used to just see me as like the up-and-coming new girl, they now treat me like a peer at the table. And in the industry, there's a new weight behind my voice. This book became my proof. Proof that what I've been saying all along, it matters, that the science and the stories that I've carried for years inside of me belong in the bigger conversation. And what surprised me most are the ripples. Therapists are recommending it to their clients. Coaches are using the language from its pages in their own sessions. Women are passing it to their sisters and their besties. The book didn't just elevate how people see me. It shifted the conversation around relationships. And that's exactly what I hoped it would do. The most surprising result for me would be partnerships. Other coaches, therapists, even podcast hosts have reached out saying, your book speaks to the work that I do. Let's collaborate. Hello, that's amazing. And before publishing, I had to hustle for connections. And now the book does the networking for me. It's like sending out a little army of orange and pink covered wing women into the world for me. And it makes my life so much easier. The ripple effect has been bigger than I imagined. In my community, women are handing the book to their sisters and their besties and their therapists saying, listen, this is what I've been trying to explain. This is it. It's given people a shared language for things that they have struggled to put into words for years. Couples are using it to finally talk about the things that they've danced around for years. And in my industry, therapists and coaches are recommending it to their clients. They're weaving it into their own practices. What an honor that is. The most powerful ripple, though, are the messages I keep getting from women saying, Jen, I'm not ashamed anymore. I finally understand myself and I feel safe in love. That's when I knew that this book isn't just mine anymore. It belongs to every woman who has ever picked it up and seen herself in its pages. And that ripple keeps spreading further and further than I can even imagine. And none of that would have been possible if I hadn't gotten pushed by Lucky Book Publishing to finally publish my words. If I could whisper one message into the hearts of my readers, it would be this. Stop blaming yourself. Start breaking the pattern. You are worthy of love that feels safe, seen, and secure. Writing this book gave me the clarity that I had been craving. I carry so much knowledge in my head as a coach, and all of these times I have science and stories and strategies swirling in there, and it can feel really hard to organize. But having to sit down and put all of it onto paper forced me to have to sort it out. And in the process, I honed in on my core message, and I built the exact framework I use in my coaching today. So what started as a way to make the book flow a bit better became the backbone of my entire method. The book didn't just help me share my work and get my words out there. It helped me define it. What surprised me most about being part of the Lucky Book Publishing community is honestly my book besties. I never expected to come out of this process with friendships that feel like family. Writing a book can feel isolating. You can be in your head all the time. You're in the drafts. You're in your doubts. But when you are surrounded by other authors who get it, it has been a game changer. We cheer each other on, we celebrate the wins, both the big and the small, and we laugh through the meltdowns that we are all having through this process. These women, they aren't just colleagues. They're the people I know that I'll be clinking glasses with for years to come, and the community became just as valuable as the book itself. Writing this book with Lucky Book Publishing felt like finding my right dance partner. I had the passion and the drive, and I had the music in my head, but they knew the steps to get us across the floor. They led when I needed leading, and they let me shine when it was time for the spotlight. And together, we created something that flowed in perfect rhythm.